Param Puja Swamiji, all of our, our wonderful International Yoga Festival family. When I first came to India, shortly thereafter, I'm a scientist by academic history and by heart in many ways. And so after I had been in India for some time, I conducted an experiment. And the experiment that I conducted was as follows. I had gone back to USA to visit for a short period of time. And I asked about 10 people whom I knew one very simple question. The question was, are you happy? But they didn't know I was conducting an experiment, and I didn't ask it like an interview. I made sure to ask 10 people whom I knew very well. So I couched it in simply meeting them after some time, spending some time with them, or calling on the phone. The thing about these 10 people is, every one of them is at the very pinnacle, the very top of their different areas. So I asked someone who was the CEO of a huge Fortune 500 company, a billionaire. I asked someone who was a well-known Hollywood actress, a successful actress. I asked someone who was a tenured professor at Stanford. I asked someone who played on the Los Angeles Lakers basketball team. I asked someone who was a well-known singer, who had songs that were on the top 10 on the radio. So each of them in different fields had reached the absolute top. And although I had a long conversation with each of them, I was really only interested in the answer to the question of, are you happy? And what I heard from each of them was basically exactly the same thing. Either I will be happy when, and you can fill in the blank. It varied from person to person. The kids grow up and move out of the house and go off to college. The mortgage is paid off. I get the promotion I've been wanting. I lose the 10 pounds I gained over the holidays, whatever it was. Or I would be happy if my husband only worked a little bit less, the kids would only clean up their room, I could only squeeze back into the clothes that I wore 5 years ago. And what I realized is, these are the people who the world is running to become. If we're in business, obviously we'd really like to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. We'd really like to be a well-known Hollywood actress. If we're a singer, we'd like to have songs in the top 10. These people had reached there. They had reached where every single other person who's running on the path thinks that if they just could get there, then I'd be happy. And yet, 10 out of 10 people answered the question either with, I will be happy when, or I would be happy if. Every single one of them still had one thing between them and happiness. We live in a world, an outside world and an inside world, in which we are running and searching and yearning for this elusive thing called happiness. And the title today was The Science of Happiness, and yet they seem like they're really the two opposite things. Science is empirical, science is tangible, science is measurable. And happiness, well, happiness is this very elusive thing that just somehow is just one little leap, one achievement, one attainment, one possession away from me. Most of us think, for example, that if we won the lottery, well, that would surely bring us happiness. If I could win the jackpot, then my problems would be solved and I'd be happy.